What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Since today is July the 28th, I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, don't really have that much today. What is moving the market this morning though is two things. One is this, so China and the States did extend their pause for another 90 days, so pretty good stuff as far as that. And then secondly is a US-Europe trade deal, and so this is tentatively the summary. In reality though, the market was very hyped up during the overnight. That hype is starting to diminish slightly, as you can kind of see right there. So Dow is up 0.05, S&P 0.21, and then NASDAQ up 0.42. So things are still looking pretty good for today, although like I said, things are starting to pull back, and that in my opinion is because over this weekend Trump also mentioned, I think he posted on whatever Truth, saying that there is a 50-50 likelihood of a US-Europe deal. So it's kind of hard to believe this when he kind of mentioned that, so I think this is why the hype is somewhat diminishing. But nonetheless, today, for what we can see from the futures, are looking pretty good. Aside from that though, SoFi is up in the pre-market 0.42%. No news, no SEC filings. They do have their earnings coming out tomorrow. As far as shorts, 11.68% of the free floats being shorted. Works out to be 126 million shares overall are being shorted. So when it comes down to SoFi, on the eve of their earnings, always anticipate a lot of volatility. So right now with that at 21.29, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 20.77 is going to be a strong support. 21.66 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And in reality, I actually can see both scenarios playing out. And so usually today, SoFi doesn't always follow the broader market. You get manipulated left, right, and center. So anticipate a lot of volatility. Even aside from today, going into SoFi's earnings, the anticipated move is roughly around 10%. So just anticipate regardless, post earnings, like a $2 move in either direction. Moving on, ticker SIDU is getting a lot of volume. It is getting hit quite hard though during the pre-market, down 46.53%, and that is because Sunday evening they decide to put out a public offering. So not necessarily the best. They did, although, laid the foundation down on Friday. Clearly the market didn't really anticipate them to act this fast. But nonetheless though, this is what is really influencing it this morning. Shorts aren't that big of a deal for it, so 4.89% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 883,000 shares. Back in late 2024, early 2025, that's where shorts were kind of a big deal for it. But generally, as of right now, like, it's not really that big of a deal, so I don't really see them being that big of a factor. Right now though, with that 108, it is below all the key fib levels. I'm looking at the 1 week chart, and so this is why you have massive, insane gaps. But $1.01, that's kind of the support level you really want to watch for it to hold. And so moving on from here, ticker is LIDR. So they're up roughly around 15% because of this news that they did put out. So right here, pretty good stuff. And I think in general, they could have put out anything, because I don't see this being a crazy catalyst. But nonetheless, because of their momentum that they have, they could have put out anything and it'd probably be getting the same level of buying. So that's kind of a good thing in my opinion, good momentum play. Aside from that, it is relatively quite heavily shorted. So 26.78% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 4.87 million shares. Short score is 81.2. So the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So definitely interesting to see what shorts have been doing. So they're very reactive to the stock price, so anticipate them to be fairly active today. Right now though, with that 510, it is trading between this R3 and this R2, so 478 will be a strong support, and then 559 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Similar to SoFi, I actually do anticipate either of these to be touched, dependent on how the market reacts to the Europe deal and also China once the market opens, because we've seen this type of scenario play out where during the pre-market it looks optimistic, then as soon as the market opens, big money is free to buy puts, and then it goes down. So just kind of watch for that if you're looking to dollar cost average swing trade, as 478 being the next strong support. But in my opinion, I think the stock definitely does have some pretty good momentum. So 559 could potentially be on the table. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Open Door is up during the pre-market. They do have their shareholder meeting coming out today, so that's a big deal for it. 31.81% of the free float is being shorted though, so definitely shorts will be fairly active today, as what they are almost every day with it, but works out to be 208.43 million shares overall are being shorted, with it right now at 264, trading between this R2 and this R1. 237 is going to be a strong support, and then 273 followed by 332 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. So if you're looking at day trading, swing trading, again, just kind of take note of that. And then moving on, last but not least, is ticker VAPE. Reason why they are up a insane amount is because of what they put out after hours on Friday, that 10KT, so annual transition report. And so I haven't really read through this yet fully in its entirety, so it's 123 pages. So for face value, I don't really see exactly why it's being hyped up. So if you generally know that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But aside from that though, the stock definitely is gaining a lot of attention, very heavily traded. I believe it's the third most heavily traded stock so far in the pre-market, but it's not that heavily shorted. So 0.7% of the free float is being shorted, so don't anticipate them to be that active. And that works out to be 4,000 shares. So again, I think just during the pre-market alone, this has gone up like 50x or something like that, just based on the volume in comparison to number of shares being shorted. So again, I don't see that being a big deal. Right now though, with that 49.29, it is right above this pivot point. So 48.86 is going to be the strong support that you'll really want to watch for it to hold. I'm looking at the 1 week chart as well, so just kind of watch for the hold numbers aside from that to be good support and resistance points. So if it does dip below this pivot point, which right now it is, as you can kind of see, things will move very, very fast. So just moral of the story, anticipate a lot of volatility with this stock. And actually, to be fully fair, a lot of the stocks that I did bring up, you can anticipate a lot of volatility over. So pretty good for day trades. Let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.